My name is Emma Suarez.
My name is Hallie Barker.
And my name is Maddy, and our project is the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory Fire of 1911.
Hello and good morning, judges. I will be representing Lucia Grimaldi.
I'll be representing a victim named Yetta Goldstein.
And I will be representing Jenny Franco. As a quick disclaimer, all of our characters and stories are based on real events that happened to these young women who were part of this horrifying fire.
It was a Sunday morning on March 25th, 1911. The workers were excited for the following day where they could spend time with their friends and family.
But sadly, there was a monstrous fire that swept through each floor, consuming everything in its
Ooh,
path.
Wait, Maddy. Most people here don't even know what a shirtwaist is. How are we supposed to explain how our topic relates to rights and responsibilities?
She's got a point. They need to know what happened before, some background information, or else they'll be lost the entire time.
I guess you guys are right. We could start by talking about the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory itself.
Great idea, Maddy. The Triangle Shirtwaist Factory was located at Greenwich Village neighborhood of Manhattan, New York City. Its address, 23 to 29 Washington Place. Now owned by the University of New York, nicknamed the Brown Building, it serves as the chemistry and biology department.
A shirtwaist was a blouse that was fashionable in the 1900s.
Shirtwaists were modeled on men's shirts and have cuffs, collars, and buttons down the front. The name comes from the predominant fashion of wearing them tucked into the waist of your skirt.
A shirtwaist factory is, well, it's what you think it would be, a factory making shirtwaists.
Inside of the factory were many workers, mostly immigrant women.
The youngest age inside the factory could be as young as 14. My character sadly was only 20 when she died.
Child labor was common in the 1900s, so the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory was a great job for young children. Mostly.
The factory had hazardous conditions that exploited workers' rights everywhere you looked.
They worked 6 days a week and only had Sunday off to spend time with friends and family.
Okay, now I think they have enough information. Let's get this show started.
Ciao, my name is Lucia Grimaldi, but you can just call me Lucy. I emigrated from Italy, possibly from a region like Sicily, Naples, Calabria, etc. Italian immigration is fueled by dire poverty. Southern Italy, including the islands of Sicily and Calabria, offered landless peasants nothing more than hardship and exploitation. Even the soil was poor, yielding little, while malnutrition and disease were widespread. That's the reason why I came to America to work at the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory. Little did I know that I'd be caught on one end of a catastrophe. On the other end was the wealthy class. After starting the company, Isaac Harris and Max Blanc, the owners, started to climb the mountain of wealth. Determined to reach the peak, they decided that in order to come out on top, they needed to stop caring about workers' rights entirely. After all, they were rich. I worked on the 8th floor of the company. My age is unknown, but we do know that I'm the only survivor of our 3 characters.
Privyet, my name is Yetta Goldstein and I emigrated from Russia. I live in the eastern part of Manhattan, New York City. I am 20 years old and living now single. My religion is Jewish and I have been working in the U.S. as a union member for 4 years. In the 1880s, the Russian countryside was strained by severe land shortages. Facing starvation and poverty, farmers and peasants from across the empire sought new light overseas and millions set sail for the United States. The community was called the immigrant working class, that I happen to be part of. My floor is unknown, but I was buried in Mount Zion Cemetery on March 28, 1911.
Hello, and my name is Jenny Franco. I lived in the western side of Manhattan, New York City. I'm 16 years old, also single for information. My religion is Catholic. I have been living in the U.S. for life, and I'm the daughter of Carmelo Franco and Emilia Crido. As more and more men were drafted and had to leave their jobs for World War I, the government was seriously looking for female workers to replace the men's spots. Especially during 1917 and 1918, there were a vast number of demands for female telegraphers, phone operators, etc. Many of these women were immigrants coming over to the United States for either food, shelter, or family. Isaac Harris and Max Blanc knew this, so they didn't think it was important for the workers to be or feel safe during their working hours. This catastrophe was known as the low economy working class. I was the eldest of 10 children. My floor is also unknown, but we do know that I was buried in Calvary Cemetery on March 27, 1911.
Yetta, what are you doing? You know if we get caught talking, horrible things can happen.
I know. This place is absolutely ridiculous and cruel.
One day I was working at my sewing machine fast enough that the boss wouldn't yell at me, but slow enough that the delicate needle wouldn't break and it wouldn't become spark. In the end, the needle did break and I had no pain for the rest of the week.
Yesterday, I was using the bathroom, but I was trying to go as fast as possible so that the boss wouldn't yell and scream at me, saying, "You're wasting time in there. Time is money and you're wasting both."
docked for only being 1 minute late. One time, I had to work over the time I usually do, and in the end, I got no pay for the extra work I did.
At least it's a short day today.
What do you mean? Silly, Yetta. Today's a Saturday. Saturdays are always short days. It's,
Whoa! Is that a fire? Quick, hand me water bucket.
Run!
I immediately jumped and sprinted to the nearest exit door. It was locked. How? All around me, women were throwing buckets of water. One landed on my new skirt and ragged boots. I tried to find a way to get out of this horrible disaster, and then I saw an elevator, and it was halfway full. I jumped over tables and chairs to land inside of the elevator. I tried to catch a breath of fresh air, but I remember only seeing another young woman running towards the elevator and not making it. Where was this thing going? Up? Down? And then I saw it was going to the top of the building. As soon as the doors opened, I was thrown onto the roof, where law students in the building next door helped us get across safely. And somehow, I survived.
I saw Lucia jump and sprint. I immediately did the same. I ran towards the nearest fire escape, but it was too full of people. It looked like it could collapse any second. So instead, I ran towards the nearest window, because I was inhaling so much smoke, and I needed fresh air. That's when I saw other women jumping from the other windows, trying to grab on to one of the ladders that was hanging off the side of a firefighter truck. I saw only one grab on until she slipped and fell. But what's that underneath her? It's a net, and it caught her fall. I knew how I was going to get out. I backed up, sprinted forward, and jumped off the edge of the window. I was falling towards the net. It was so close. I landed. I started to rejoice, but then I saw another woman falling towards me, falling fast. As soon as she hit the net, the whole thing broke down, and sadly, I passed away.
I saw Lucia and Yetta immediately jump out of their seats. I sat there horrified, but the fire was way close to me. I ran as fast as I could, launching myself at an exit door. It was locked. I jumped over another fire to another exit door, also locked. To the left of me, someone outside had thrown a sewing machine at a window. It shattered all over me, making deep, terrible cuts all over my body. I forced myself to ignore the pain and jump to another exit door, also locked. Suddenly, I knew all the doors were locked. The fire surrounded me. There was no jumping these flames. I gave into my fate, and after long seconds, I passed away.
We believe that the fire started by a cigarette falling into a bin of shirtwaists.
In the end, no one is blamed for this accident.
Yet there were things that definitely could have been avoided.
The owners, Isaac Harris and Max Blanc, oversaw the place. They could have easily added in a fire drill to the schedule to prepare the young workers. They could have also added new fire safety doors.
According to the New York Tribune newspaper, Isaac Harris and Max Blanc were not found guilty of the group trial.
Not guilty.
Yet, it still does not make up for them to forget their workers' rights and safety, and for them to forget their responsibility as the owners of the Triangle Shirtwaist factory.
And the weird thing is, there were already water buckets spread all across the building, which shows that fires must have happened often, which concludes that Isaac Harris and Max Blanc only cared about the business running smoothly, and not their employees' safety.
Which is unfortunate because over 1/4 of the entire company was killed by fall or consumed by flames.
You see, the reason that the Triangle Shirtwaist factory fire is such an important event in history is because it became a catalyst for major labor reforms. The tragedy, primarily affecting young immigrant women, led to stricter building codes, better fire safety regulations, and nationwide labor law reforms.
My character, Yetta Goldstein, served as a union worker at the time of the fire. She worked at the International Ladies Garments Workers Union, and they served for that exact cause. Even though it cost her her life, now women and workers in general are safe in their workplace.
Thanks to this fire, many organizations such as OSHA, International Labor Organization, Dolphins Justice, etc. have worked or been working hard to ensure that workers have the rights and to keep from danger such as this.
These companies are so amazing because not only do they help with labor laws, but they make sure that every worker, no matter what race, culture, or ethnicity they are, gets treated fairly.
Do they cover maternity leave?
Yes, they do. Did you know President Clinton in 1993 passed a law so that women could balance work and family? For example, having a baby and not losing their job. Whether they are good or bad, we take a role in our own and other people's actions, which affects the responsibilities of others as well as ourselves. Isn't that the theme of the 50th anniversary of National History Day?
Yes, it is. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch our performance.
We spent so long preparing, and we hope you enjoy.
I hope our performance inspires you to do good in this world, and that is the end of our presentation.